Coast. It's Big West softball here from San Luis Obispo as we welcome you into Bob Jansen Field. I'm Daniel Gilman, happy to be with you for the final of 3 between Long Beach State at 12-5 and the Cal Poly Mustangs from 1-6 to 11-6, winners of 10 straight Big West battles, looking for the sweep against Long Beach State after a pair of wild games in yesterday's doubleheader as the Mustangs scored 10 in the first inning of Game 1, survived the comeback bid by the defending Big West champs in the 12-7 win, and then came from behind, down 3-0 in Game 2 as Samantha Fowler for Long Beach State got hit for the loss in Game 1, and again in relief in Game 2 as Juju Sargent has been Miss Clutch for the Mustangs. She had the game-winning 2-run single in the bottom of the 6th inning yesterday. She slotted back in that 4th spot again today as the Mustangs will jog onto the diamond, getting ready just a couple minutes after the 1 o'clock hour here on the West Coast. And let's introduce you to yesterday's Game 2 starter who once again will take the circle. It's the freshman from Seattle, Washington in Kate Judy, who went the distance yesterday afternoon and picked up her 6th Big West win. 7 starts and 6 Big West wins for Judy this season in conference play with a sub-3 Big West ERA. You see her overall mark, making her 13th start here in 2022, and the 71 strikeouts to 35 walks has been what has Coach Condon buzzing here in her 18th season. Coach Jenny Condon looking to put together a miraculous run to try to make Cal Poly's first NCAA tournament since 2009, and today will be a big one as we look at Coach Kim Souter's squad, as Long Beach State still has outside chance of catching Cal State Fullerton just 2 games or 2.5 games back of the league's top and preseason favorite in Fullerton, and a shakeup to say the least as Sarah Olson propels all the way up from the 7th spot yesterday to lead it off today. She's got 3 hits in the series. Kira Snyder's 4 for 8 in the weekend. She's cleaning it up with Ashley Enai bumped down from the 1 to the 3 hole. And you see Justine Briones getting the start behind home plate for the 2nd straight game as Long Beach State dons their majestic whites with Cal Poly in the road blacks on a 79-degree hot sunny Sunday. We're off and ready for first pitch today. Get ready for what should be a fun one as yesterday's Game 2 went back and forth. 3-0 early lead for Long Beach State, relinquished and extinguished by the hustle of Lily Amos scoring the game-tying run in the 5th on the Haley Prom double, and then that game-winning hit by Juju Sargent out and right as Kate Judy and Sarah Olson get us underway. Olson, a sophomore from Newhall, has been going back and forth with standing in the left-hand batter's box or running up and slapping as the foul ball evens the count 1-1 with Douglas Trout behind home plate, Anthony Cooper, and Fred Barker manning our lines, and an umpire crew that has been certainly in the center of attention this series with some big decisions leading to controversy and a little bit of frustration on the side of the beach. 1-1 pitch with the corner infield creeping in. Mia Perez, Maddie Amos in the left side of the infield, Ziara Diaz and Haley Prom on the right side. It's the same lineup throughout Cal Poly's 10-game conference winning streak. Defensively, at least, and I'll tell you about a little bit of the movement that we saw last weekend in Bakersfield and has pushed into Cal Poly's home series here as Olson continues her hitting ways, picks up her 4th base knock of the series, starts off this Sunday afternoon game with a single. The beach at 6-6 on road games this season, an area that has plagued Coach Souter in pre-conference play. Yesterday, the first time all year long that Long Beach State lost a conference game by more than just a few runs, as they fell in Game 1 by 5 runs, in Game 2 by 2 runs, following a couple one-run losses to Riverside and UC San Diego, in addition to a 13-inning loss at the hands of UC Davis. a team that Cal Poly will see next at home in just a few weekends after coming back from a pivotal series in Fullerton next week for the Mustangs, while Long Beach State will need to take care of business at home against Hawaii and UC Santa Barbara before that final weekend for the Beach that was so climactic last season against Fullerton, as Long Beach State needed to sweep CSF, and they did sweep in order to win the conference, finishing 2021 at 22-2 and advancing to the UCLA Regional. In large part due to this all-region center fielder as Naomi Hernandez watches a 1-1, gets set to be delivered by Judy. We saw Hernandez put down a couple bunts yesterday, and this seems to be the strategy that she's employed here this weekend, trying to get on base any way she can. Did reach on a bunt single in Game 1. Was also thrown out on a good play by Amos in a bunt a few innings later. Four straight lefties lead off the lineup for 16th-year head coach Kim Souter. Another bunt. Evens the count 2-2. Kate Judy, complete game win yesterday. She went 5 innings on Tuesday in the non-conference loss to Fresno State. Allowed 1 run, 4 hits, 4 strikeouts, and no walks. Similarly to yesterday's game, both Judy and Paige Mayer got better as the game went on against this Long Beach State team. As the slapper finds Perez, she'll go the easy way to first, and it works as a sacrifice for Naomi Hernandez. And in both Game 1 and 2 of the series, Long Beach State was able to put up runs early with a 3-run second, a 3-run third in the first game, coming back from that 10-0 deficit, but then was shut down in order from the 5th on against Paige Mayer in relief. Yesterday against Judy, the Beach unable to score after putting up 2 in the 3rd inning. So we'll see if the slot down from the leadoff spot here for the grad senior Ashley Ncaa works. She takes a cut at the first swing and finds center field. Little small ball works in the favor of Long Beach State, and for the second consecutive game, the Beach lead. Ncaa's 8th conference RBI. Snaps an 0 for 5 skid, one of the longer of her Long Beach State short time here, as she was 0 for 4 in Game 2 yesterday. And I know talking to Coach Jenny Condon for Cal Poly, she mentioned that there would not be too long of a leash on Kate Judy, with Christina Allman having only thrown about 30 pitches last outing. Paige Mayer, of course, also getting Game 2 off with the Judy complete game. As we get another look, it was probably, about 2 inches over the glove of Judy on a perfectly placed slap by Ncaa. Good cutoff, though, by Prom, something that Cal Poly was unable to do a few times in yesterday's doubleheader, keeping the runner at first as Kira Snyder fouls off the 1-0. Snyder and Olsen both with 4 hits in this series, as the Louisville transfer has been locked in this 4 spot in all 3 games of the set. A 321 hitter, hitting 340 in conference play. One of just 2 home runs in Big West action for these Long Beach State hitters. And yet a 12-5 mark, despite the 2 losses yesterday, and Long Beach State certainly controls their destiny with Fullerton up ahead in them. A couple quality opponents with Hawaii sitting at 12-6 right now in sole possession of 3rd. But should Cal Poly pick up this unlikely sweep here today, they would propel themselves up to 2nd place. And I say unlikely because Long Beach State has not been swept on the road since 2010. 12 years for Kim Souter, avoiding a 3-game set on the road with all losses. Overall, the Beach haven't been swept at home since 2017 either. Cal Poly was able to grab all 3 down in Long Beach back in 2016. That was the last time Mustangs won a series against these perennial powers. 2-2 misses high, and it's 3-2. Speed at first in Ncaa, but she was caught stealing in game 1 of the first inning yesterday. Kai Barrett, who has thrown out 12 would-be base stealers this season. But you feel like maybe on a 3-2 pitch, she could be adding some movement. Payoff to Snyder. And it's driven out to left field. Wind blowing in. Going to be very tough to find depth out that way as Jess Clemens welcomes herself into this contest with Clemens, Ramos, and Sargent manning the outfield left to right. And there's 2 down in this first inning. Already 1 run in on the bat of Ashley Ncaa, the ECU grad transfer, who stands at first. And the DP, Rebecca Durazo, comes to the plate. Durazo, who caught in the first game of the series, was the DP in game 2, and she's stayed consistent, 1 for 4 in both of the games of the doubleheader yesterday. Freshman from Pacoma. Alongside a couple other freshmen in Caballero and Bakar manning the middle infield for the Beach. As the curveball tails outside from Judy, you're going to see that steady dose of the curve and the screw by a lot of these Cal Poly pitchers. Very similar styles, all raised and groomed by the All-American standout Michelle Granger in her 3rd season as the pitching coach. USA gold medalist back in the late 90s. Oh, that's a great changeup. Probably had Durazo breaking the plane, but it's called a strike nonetheless, and it's 1-2. Good challenge pitch there as Durazo able to just foul tip it. A .256 hitter at the plate. Our first right-handed hitter of this Long Beach State lineup today. So after the 4 left-handed bats, now 5 consecutive from the right side. One, two. Tails a little low and evens the count. 1-0 Long Beach State lead. First inning run for the Beach here this weekend. Now the first inning was tough on Long Beach State in game 1 yesterday. It was a ridiculous carousel of walks with 10 runs on 15 at-bats for Cal Poly. Durazo smokes one right at Sargent, who was playing no doubles. And that is a tough luck out to end the inning, but Long Beach State strikes for 1 midway through the first here on ESPN+.
What if you had an opportunity to change a community? What if you had the chance to be the difference? What if you could make a meaningful impact on someone's life? You can. Join CDCR. CDCR offers competitive pay, benefits, and retirement. Now is your chance. Change lives. Change California.
champs. Hoping to put together a little bit of a May rally coming up in a few weeks with a matchup against Fullerton as we take a look at the Long Beach State starting pitcher today behind a 1-0 lead. For the third time this series, we'll see Samantha Fowler, 5'10 junior from Los Alamitos, who was hit for both losses in yesterday's doubleheader in two very different outings, as she was unable to record an out in Game 1. Came in the 6th inning of a tied game in Game 2 and got hit with a 2-out error that extended the frame and led to 2 Cal Poly runs. As Fowler sits 9-6, still though, with the 1 inning yesterday and 5 earned runs allowed. She has a sub-2 Big West ERA, sitting top 10 in the conference with the tandem of yesterday's Game 2 starter in Sofia Fernandez as a great play by Ncaa. Isn't that how she started yesterday's game? Wow, she robbed Ramos of a base hit in the first inning of Game 2 yesterday. Ncaa prevents Jess Clements from extending the at-bat as we take a look at Cal Poly's lineup behind the conference leader in batting average. You see Maddie Amos hitting third, back-to-back Big West Player of the Week. She hasn't seen much to hit here this series with 5 walks in 8 at-bats. And then Juju Sargent, who has picked up 3 game-winning hits this conference season. Let's get another look, why not? Ashley Ncaa has made now 3 web gems here this series. This one was a little bit on the riskier side, getting out near that Cal Poly dugout, and a great extension by the ECU grad transfer as Ramos hits one well, picked up by Bakar, and 2 nifty plays by the Long Beach State defense. Certainly a sigh of relief for Samantha Fowler, who has had a topsy-turvy weekend following a tremendous home set last week against Santa Barbara, going 9 innings in 2 starts, allowing 0 runs in a pair of run rule wins. So with the bases empty, maybe Maddie Amos will be able to see some strikes here, and it's exactly what Samantha Fowler does, pouring in a screwball on the inner half. Fowler very much a spinny pitcher, says her head coach Kim Souter. Curve, screw, change, and the rise is the go-to pitch, where she has picked up so many of those 84 strikeouts in 97 innings pitched, as there you get a C at the rise. Amos hitting .393 on the season, an on-base percentage of .450. That's what she's been able to do this series, and there's the first hit of the weekend for the all-region shortstop. And how about just the second extra base hit of the series for the Mustangs? Isn't that ridiculous? Scored 17 runs in 2 games with just 1 extra base hit. And it takes just 1 inning to get a runner in scoring position, as we see another look at Maddie Amos's quick hands finding the left field line and putting Juju Sargent in another run scoring position. Sargent with game-winning hits in the 6th inning nonetheless. In multiple games, had the big hit against UC Santa Barbara in that 6-0 deficit that was erased by Cal Poly. That was a pinch hit variety for the sophomore right fielder who started the season on the bench, platooning with Sydney Frankenberger, and has since surged up the lineup to take over the cleanup spot. Sargent has 15 RBIs in the 17 Big West games. Juju goes the other way and finds fair white chalk. Cal Poly will tie it up here in the bottom of the first inning on the 16th conference RBI of the year for Juju Sargent. Talk about being a visual learner. You can see the white kick up on that line drive, not letting the umpires make a judgment call. And let's get another look. What a job of Sargent to go the other way. And How about this? All 5 runs yesterday in Game 2 for Cal Poly were scored with the bases empty and 2 outs. And here they start Game 3, the same variety. 2 quick outs, and then back-to-back doubles, as they've now doubled their extra base hit total on the series here in the first. Brings up Lily Amos. Honorable mention all-conference last season. She's seen a little bit less pressure now, hitting in the 5 spot as opposed to all season long cleaning up behind her sister. And in fact, I think she's seen some better pitches as well. As Lily Amos 3 for 7 in the series with a couple RBIs and a walk. Fowler struggling now to find the strike zone. 3-0 the count. Just 1 day removed, almost exactly 24 hours removed from walking in 4 runs in the first inning yesterday. Getting removed after a walk to Haley Prom. Shelby Frutos would come in, allow a few more runs. And on the 4-pitch miss on 3-0, Lily Amos takes her base, and it's going to be Haley Prom here with 2 outs and 2 on. Prom hitting .318 in conference play. 11 RBIs, 1 long ball. There's an important first pitch strike there by Fowler. Starts the at-bat. Samantha Fowler, top 10 in the conference in strikeouts last season. Sitting in the upper half in a multitude of stats, including ERA with her sub-2 mark, but Cal Poly has certainly put a dent in some of these terrific Samantha Fowler numbers. She had that unheralded infinite ERA in Game 1 yesterday. 5 runs on 0 outs recorded. As Prom pops one up, and Long Beach State's going to fight the sun to get out of the jam. Bakar, the freshman of the week in the conference, makes the grab. We head to the second, knotted at 1.
When you're ready to travel,
we're ready to welcome you.
Whether you're taking a little day trip
or getting out for a getaway,
we're ready. We're ready to see you strolling, rolling, chilling,
tasting,
shopping,
cheersing, and chowing down.
We're ready to see your smiling faces again.
we're ready to hear your laughs.
We are slow ready
to welcome you back.
San Luis Obispo County Regional Airport and Alaska Airlines now have nonstop flights to San Diego and Portland. San Diego offers 70 miles of pristine beaches and world-class attractions that will mesmerize the whole family. Enjoy the Pacific Northwest's natural beauty and relax in the beautiful waterfronts and amazing views that Portland offers. Your San Luis Obispo Airport is the perfect gateway to great adventures for all families. For more information, visit slowairport.com.
Obispo, as Long Beach State cruised into town on Friday, getting ready for a 2-game doubleheader yesterday off the heels of a sweep against Santa Barbara last weekend, a couple wins against UC San Diego the previous weekend. And look at this, first pitch swinging, Jacqueline Bakar backing up her tremendous set against the Gauchos, and she's going to stretch and reach second on what should be probably a single and an error out there. So Bakar's third hit of the series, and the E7 puts her in scoring position here to start the second. I think it hit the bag. Yeah, look at that. Good piece of camera work there on the replay. As you see Clements struggling with it just a little bit out in left field, as the second-year sophomore making just her second error of the season out there. Now a bunt look by Liliana Martinez, who's 0 for 3 with a walk this series, has been pulled a couple times for replacements in the 2 games that we've seen. But a chance now to put together a productive AB and move the runner to third, as Long Beach State has exemplified small ball here in slow. We saw it in the first inning, but instead Martinez swings away. Left center field, diving catch by Clements. Some miscommunication forced Jess to try to extend her body, and she makes the catch. That's one way to make up for the error a moment ago, and we get another look at this. Good heads-up base running by Bakar to move up on the F7. But wow, that could have been a lot worse for the home Mustangs, with Ramos and Clements converging. Now Justine Briones making her second consecutive start behind the plate, with the Cal Poly infield drawn in, and a chance right away to get that run back. Briones, the senior catcher, making her 28th start of the year, just her 9th conference start, as Long Beach State has seen Rebecca Durazo grab a handful of starts behind home plate since the conference season has started. Durazo, who's moved up in the lineup, as has Briones. She hit 9 in Game 2 yesterday. Now she's hitting 8th with Marissa Caballero, the freshman, on deck. First series of the season. First series since 2019 that Long Beach State has lost here in conference play. And Briones, just foul. 22-2 last year, 12-5 here in 2022 for the Beach. A win today would put them 2 games back of Fullerton, with Cal State Fullerton hosting Cal Poly next weekend. The Titans got out a little early this weekend, sweeping Santa Barbara in a Friday-Saturday set. Now the infield comes a little bit further back here with 2 strikes. Judy, who punched out 6 yesterday, gets a huge strikeout, keeping the runner at third and bringing up the 9-hitter in Marissa Caballero here with 2 outs.
Now batting the shortstop, number 6, Marissa Caballero.
Briones, who was susceptible to the strikeout. It's her 17th of the season. Now Caballero hitting .245 this year, 133 in conference play. Is the only player on either team that has not reached here this series. As Caballero finds center field, Ramos's glove is the destination, and Kate Judy wriggles her way out of that runner at third, 1-out jam. Tied to the bottom of the second we go.
Malama Aina, to care for the land is an engagement between people and place. When we all malama, there's nothing we can't change.
Learn how you can malama Hawaii at gohawaii.com/malama.
What if you had an opportunity to change a community? What if you had the chance to be the difference? What if you could make a meaningful impact on someone's life? you can. Join CDCR. CDCR offers competitive pay, benefits, and retirement. Now is your chance. Change lives. Change California.
I wanted to wake up to the sound of the ocean.
Sun and surf. That's what we were looking for.
But the moment we arrived, we found so much more. We found beauty.
We found adventure.
We found a place we'll never, ever forget.
Seven, 8, 9 due up for the Mustangs here against Samantha Fowler. And this has been the part of the lineup this series that has been the X factor for the home Mustangs, who are looking for the sweep against Long Beach. Ziara Diaz, who had 3 hits in Game 1. Mia Perez, who reached 3 times in Game 1 as well. She reached twice in Game 2. She hits on deck with Kai Barrett in the hole, who picked up the insurance RBI to extend the 4-run lead to 5 runs back in Game 1 yesterday. That's the 3 before Jess Clements turns up the lineup around, as Diaz 0 for 2 in Game 2 with a walk and a run. She takes in the count 2-0. Three and 0 now from Fowler. Certainly a fall from grace here this weekend out of nowhere for the junior. Mentioned 9 scoreless innings in 2 outings last week against Santa Barbara. In fact, the combination of Fowler and Fernandez over the past 2 weekends, UCSD and UCSB, just 4 earned runs and a sub-1 ERA. And a pivotal strike on 3-0. Five-pitch walk starts the second. Fowler, who just issued her 73rd base on balls this season. That is more than the other 4 pitchers on the staff combined. It brings up Mia Perez, who has been working on her batting stance here in the last few weeks. She looks and pulls back the bunt on a screwball that misses. You can take a good look at the area where the hands are for this sophomore left-handed hitter. Talking to Gina Vecchione, who has worked really hard this season with Mia Perez. Can't quite see it as that sacrifice bunt looked a little bit more like a push bunt. Now the decision by Coach Condon whether she wants to keep the bunt on or not. Perez has had her hottest hitting series of her collegiate career as another take pushes the count to 2-1. Perez has been retired just 1 time in 5 at-bats this weekend with a pair of walks. Picked up an RBI single in the 4th inning of Game 2 on a Diaz steal off of her bunt, as the count evens at 2-2. And this is where, as a hitter, sometimes you breathe a sigh of relief. And you're like, all right, they're not going to have me bunt now with 2 strikes. Just got to make sure to make contact. See if you can pick up a productive AB. Diaz did steal off of Briones, but she's not moving. And a good high by Perez fills the count. Now maybe a hitter who strikes out less, you think about running, but Mia Perez has struck out 12 times in 44 at-bats. So we'll see what the call is. With Diaz staying put, and Perez popping one foul in play, but off of the netting, just before the catcher, Justine Briones, could get to it. It is Taco Sunday here at the ballpark, and I'm not sure that the Tacos survived that foul ball. I'll grab a taco in a few innings and let you guys know how it is. Another payoff pitch coming from Fowler. And another pop-up. Ncaa with room and another great catch. Oh my goodness, she is stock full of these tremendous catches. Her second of this game. One out here in the second. We saw Jacqueline Bakar make a nice roaming grab to end the first inning. Gave you a good look at the wind, about 15 miles an hour blowing in from the left field line. Bakar also put her body on the line later in yesterday's doubleheader, bouncing off of the chain link fence as Barrett takes a strike, and we bring you back to that nice grab, fighting the wind. As I mentioned, Ncaa has now made 2 of those catches. And, you know, back in the old days, before the net popped up on the dugout, there was always a little bit of gamesmanship, whether you want to help out an opposing player who ventured near your territory. This time, not even the range of Ncaa can pick up that one. And so Fowler jumps ahead of the Hawaiian catcher Kai Barrett, who's hitting just a tad under 300 in conference play. Diaz stands at first. She led off this inning with a walk. Right now, doesn't quite look like Fowler's able to place her 2 strike pitches. That curveball missed well outside. See if she goes back to the outside corner. Pop up. Again, the wind is going to push Caballero back into the infield, and there's 2 quick outs following the leadoff walk. To the top of the lineup we go as Jess Clements saw just 1 pitch in the first inning. And a foul pop-up nabbed by Ncaa. So she's 0 for 1. 3 for 10 on the series. 7 hits this week for Clements, who had a 4-hit game on Tuesday in the loss to Fresno State. The only midweek game since conference play started, and Ncaa in foul territory. Why not just make another diving catch? You had a feeling that her white jersey wasn't going to stay clean long. A diving catch in yesterday's first inning of Game 2. Today, Ncaa's 2 grabs did not prevent a hit, but both quickly ended at-bats in foul territory. So Clements hitting .411 atop the Big West Conference. Watches Diaz get thrown out. What a pickup by Bakar. Briones, who had 4 steals against her yesterday, prevents the first here this afternoon, and we're off to the third, tied at 1.
Power isn't born, it's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
What if you had an opportunity to change a community? What if you had the chance to be the difference? What if you could make a meaningful impact on someone's life? You can. Join CDCR. CDCR offers competitive pay, benefits, and retirement. Now is your chance. Change lives. Change California.
A matchup between a pair of top 4 teams in the Big West, as Long Beach State has dominated this series, winning 52 of the 83 all-time matchups. But Cal Poly has gotten the better of Kim Souter a couple times. Back in 2016 and 2014, the Mustangs were able to sweep Long Beach down in SoCal, but hoping to pick up the sweep here at home. Tied at 1, top 3. Kate Judy starts the leadoff hitting Sarah Olson, who had a single in the first. Now has her batting average up over 300. Pretty consistent for Olson, hitting 305 in conference play, 307 on the season. Smash to center. The wind will keep it tamed for Noella Ramos. You know, I have a feeling that both of these outfields get the same kind of treatment where you can't jump to conclusions on fly balls. I haven't been down to Long Beach, but I've been told that the wind blows in from the outfield. Very similarly to what we see here, as Naomi Hernandez up with nobody on and 1 out. Hernandez, named Big West Freshman of the Year 4 years ago, has stayed at Long Beach State, taken them to a couple NCAA tournaments. But the Beach are hoping to put a mark on the postseason this year. They were outscored 19-0 in the 2 regional games last season. Hernandez, who has shown a propensity to draw the corner infield in this weekend. She's got what she's wanted. Infield certainly playing for a bunt. You're in a tie game in the 3rd inning. Oh, a bad luck check swing, foul ball, and Kate Judy ahead in the count 1-2. Take a look at these Big West numbers for Judy. In just over 41 innings, she has 38 strikeouts, just 16 walks, allowing 49 hits. And in 5 starts, Judy has 4 complete games and a 6-1 conference record. This is the same freshman who started her career at Cal Poly 0-9. It was a tough non-conference season for the Mustangs, who needed 14 games to win their first of 22. That came against Fresno State in the Judy Garman Classic. They backed it up with a win against UPenn and another one against the Quakers here at home. Then a couple splits with Pacific and Nevada before getting swept at CSUN and losing 2 of 3 against Riverside. And since then, the Mustangs have lost just 1 conference game, going 10-1 with the loss in Game 1 to UC Santa Barbara. Then sweeps at Bakersfield in Hawaii. Now looking to shock the Big West landscape here today as Olson faces a 3-2 pitch from Judy. Screwball misses, and the first walk of the game issued by Kate. As Naomi Hernandez works the walk. Pardon me on saying Olson there. And Ashley Ncaa comes to the plate. Ncaa's been able to do it on both sides of the diamond. Hitting a gaudy .430 in conference play this season after the RBI single in the first. This is Ncaa's 40th start of the year, her 220th collegiate start. Spending 4 years out, what is it, Greenville, North Carolina? Is that where ECU is? I think so. 1-0. There's a called strike. Barrett's going to challenge Hernandez. It is Greenville, North Carolina. So a long trek back to her home state, a senior from Riverside. Ncaa a little late on that rise. Hernandez has attempted one steal this season, was successful. As the Beach have threatened in every inning. Had Bakar stranded at third in the second. Hope in the middle of this lineup with Ncaa and Snyder on deck can produce here in the third as a battle brews. One-two from the Seattle native. Another throw to first as the screwball misses outside, evening the count. Happy that you're with us here on this Sunday afternoon in what is the marquee game of the day here in the conference. To see if Long Beach State is still alive and kicking. A loss today for the Beach would put them 3 games behind Fullerton with 3 series left. Now, all of a sudden, Long Beach State turns into Cal Poly fans a week from now when the Mustangs head down to Fullerton. Hawaii will also be fans of the Mustangs as they sit 3 games back of the Titans. Hawaii able to sweep Bakersfield this weekend, while Fullerton swept Santa Barbara. 1-2 misses Hine outside, and it's 2-2. Cal Poly doesn't quite have any more cellar dwellers to match up with, as the Mustangs will travel to Fullerton and then host Davis, who sits in the middle of the pack. Trip out to UC San Diego to finish the season. UCSD at 10-8 sits 5th, as Judy's having to work here in the third. And if she can't get out of this jam, don't be surprised if we see Christina Ullman who just threw an inning and a third in Game 1 as the starter. Allowed 3 runs on 4 hits and a couple free passes. What an at-bat here. We saw a great at-bat by Hernandez, who worked a full count walk. Ncaa battled before her 2-2 base hit. Now a lengthy 2-2 count continues between Snyder and Judy. Now a Long Beach State team that has grounded into 21 or hit into 21 double plays this season while just turning 5. Snyder certainly susceptible to the ground ball double play as this pop-up challenges Perez to pull an Ncaa, but she can't quite get to that dugout in time. For those wondering, Cal Poly turned their 7th double play of the season yesterday in Game 1 on a line drive hit by Ncaa. Eighth pitch of the at-bat, and there's your ground ball. Not well hit. Oh, a collision between Ncaa and Diaz, and both players go down hard. Time is called. Diaz held on to the ball, and the out recorded. Well, that's one way to make sure that no double play is turned. We have seen physicality shown between Ncaa and the dugout this afternoon, and let's get another look at a full-scale collision. Wow. That's a fielder's choice 4 unassisted. Jeez, taking another look at that. Whew. So Hernandez will move to third, and hopefully both Ncaa and Diaz are all right. Tell you what, I know Long Beach State doesn't have any football, but I'm sure Cal Poly's coaches would take a look at Ncaa as a middle linebacker on that tackle. So now a chance for Durazo. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. A much-needed strike to start the at-bat from Judy, who has now thrown 53 pitches today. Following 114 in yesterday's complete game win. A 1 pitch popped up to Perez in foul territory, and she makes the grab. So once again, Long Beach State puts a runner in scoring position with less than 2 outs and comes up empty-handed. Top of the lineup for Cal Poly in the third when we come back.
What if you had an opportunity to change a community? What if you had the chance to be the difference? What if you could make a meaningful impact on someone's life? You can. Join CDCR. CDCR offers competitive pay, benefits, and retirement. Now is your chance. Change lives. Change California.
A duel between Samantha and Kate Judy. An upperclassman against an underclassman as the junior for not quite getting much help from her offense. There's plenty of traffic on the base paths. I'm Daniel Gilman, happy to be with you on this Sunday noon. Cal Poly with a win here. Jump from 4th to 2nd in the Big West standings with thirds over Long Beach and Hawaii. They would sweep Long Beach State for the first time since 2016. It would be the first road sweep Long Beach State has suffered since 2010 as Jess Clements gets in the right elbow. Once again, we apologize for the technical difficulties on things. Our talented crew pulling out plenty of chords, putting them back in to get you some pure action here for the final couple innings. We're happy that you're sticking with us as Noella first and second, no outs. And it's Maddie Amos who had the first hit of the game, first run of the game for the Mustangs with her 2-out double, scoring on Sargent's double. And before that, we'll have a circle visit from Coach Castillo. And let's get another look at how things started for Cal Poly in the first inning. Maddie Amos now hitting up over 430 in conference play. Ripped one down the left field line. Got to keep them low in this ballpark if you want to hit one high to left. Not going to have great luck. And then Juju Sargent poked one down the right field line. First pitch of her at-bat. That's where we sit after Long Beach State scored in the top half quickly on a Sarah Olsen single. Hernandez slapped her over to second, and Ncaa drove her in. So a lengthy meeting with Coach Castillo out there. As the Mustangs, winners of 10 straight conference games. Now, they would have had that quirky winning streak extended to 11 had they beaten Fresno State on Tuesday. And what that prevents is a chance where we can go back through the record books to see if any team has started with a 10-game losing streak and then picked up a 10-game winning streak later in the year. But it was capped at 8 games as Fresno State came into slow, a team that was really struggling here this season, losing both of their aces to Big 12 teams in Dolcini and Orm. But still, Kay Madsen was able to pick up some big hits. They're All-American in the top of the lineup and snap Cal Poly's winning streak. Couple quick balls from Fowler, who has now thrown 7 straight out of the zone. A hit-by-pitch to Clements, a 4-pitch walk to Ramos. Juju Sargent waits on deck. There's a strike at the knees. Plenty of speed on the base paths for Cal Poly with their 1 and 2 hitters hoping to turn on the afterburners. 2-1 pitch, driven out to left center, not hit too well as Hernandez ranges back, and a quick trigger out in center prevents Clements from tagging on the F8. Well, not many teams are going to run on Naomi Hernandez, and Cal Poly learned that firsthand in Game 1 yesterday as the all-conference and all-region center fielder had a pair of outfield assists, erasing 2 Cal Poly runs at the plate. Now Juju Sargent takes a screwball inside, and what a year it's been for Sargent. Redshirt sophomore from Heritage High School, as there's so many of her teammates. I think 4 or 5 of the Mustangs, all from the same area up in NorCal, Brentwood. And from a platoon role, now to the cleanup spot. Another big chance. Sargent takes inside, 2-1. 6 RBIs this series for Sargent, who led the way with a big weekend in Hawaii as well. She goes chasing, evening the count now. Sargent had the big 3 RBI game in the finale against Hawaii. Watches the count run full. That was the biggest game of the year, says Coach Condon. A come from behind, twice having to come from behind in the finale against Hawaii to win by 1 on the game-winning hit by Barrett, as Lily Amos will come to the plate on 3 free passes here by Fowler. And we'll see if Samantha Fowler will face the Amos sister. Amos walked on 4 pitches in the first inning. She's been working on her mechanics, really hoping to have a little bit more balance in her swing, she told me before first pitch. There's a good drop ball for strike 1. Prom on deck, and Fowler hoping to do the same magic act that Judy has done in the last 2 innings. Although this one would be magnificent. Bases loaded, 1 out. And a Mustang offense that has just feasted on runners in scoring position outcomes in the last few weeks. Infield is drawn in. Certainly a chance to go home to first on a ground ball. And instead, it's a called strike 3. Perfect pitch by Fowler. Freezes Amos. And now the baton gets passed down to Haley Prom here with 2 outs. Pretty good time for Fowler's first strikeout of the series. Very similar to what Judy was able to do with 1 out and a runner at third in the second. Prom not going to waste any time. Cuts on and misses the first pitch. Haley with the RBI double to tie the game in the 5th inning against the lefty Fernandez yesterday in Game 2. She found the right center field gap, and Lily Amos hustled around from first base. A gapper here would give Cal Poly the lead in the bottom of the 3rd. 1-1 rise ball, and Fowler 1 strike away. Prom had a chance with 2 on and 2 out in the first inning, and she popped out. 2-2. On another pitch where Fowler has not been able to at least make them look like strikes. A couple of these 2-strike waste pitches have been very wasteful. Two. Prom, that one got too much of the plate. Always a fine line, right? Trying to find that zone outside the plate to try to get the hitter swinging at 2 strikes. And yet through this all, in a shaky start for Fowler, 1 strike away from sending us to the 4th, still tied at 1. 2-2, a pop-up, wind aided, and it gets out of play. "17 RBIs this season for Haley Prom. She does have 1 home run, sophomore from Los Altos. Great take. The count runs full. Now that's the kind of pitch you want to throw with 2 strikes, starting in the zone and watching it leak outside. Now the carousel will start. Everybody on the move. On the 3-2 pitch with 2 outs and the bases loaded to Prom. Pop up. Caballero's got it. Long Beach State can celebrate. And the hitters struggling today for both teams. Sends us to the 4th, tied at 1. Yeah. Oh no, we're gonna blow it, Jiva, we're blowing it.
When you're ready to travel,
We're ready to welcome you.
Whether you're taking a little day trip,
we're getting out for a getaway.
We're ready. We're ready to see you strolling. Rolling. Chilling.
Tasting.
shopping,
Cheersing and chowing down.
we're ready to see your smiling faces again.
We're ready to hear your laughs.
We are slow ready.
To welcome you back.
San Luis Obispo County Regional Airport and Alaska Airlines now have nonstop flights to San Diego and Portland. San Diego offers 70 miles of pristine beaches and world-class attractions that will mesmerize the whole family. Enjoy the Pacific Northwest's natural beauty and relax in the beautiful waterfronts and amazing views that Portland offers. Your San Luis Obispo Airport is the perfect gateway to great adventures for all families. For more information, visit slowairport.com.
Big pitches in big moments in this pitcher's duel today, as both sides have seen plenty of traffic on the base paths, and both pitching staffs between Fowler and Judy have kept this game 1-1 as the 6, 7, 8 come to the plate for the Beach. And Kate Judy still out there slinging curveballs as Bakar takes outside. 1 for 1 today for the reigning Big West Freshman of the Week. Bakar has been kept a little bit more at bay this weekend, but still has 3 hits in 7 at-bats. A walk as well. That one gets by Perez. We are seeing a real big difference in the addition of Ncaa over at third base. And now, there isn't any stats that break down WAR in college softball, but I would go out and say that Ashley Ncaa has saved a few runs this weekend defensively for the Beach. And while Mia Perez has been great at third, plays like that are above and beyond the question asked of your usual hot corner spot. So the hard hit single by Bakar and Liliana Martinez, who flew out to deep left center on a diving catch by Clements her first time up. She rips one out to left. First pitch, and once again, Two are on with no outs, and you have to wonder if that's going to do it for Kate Judy. Six singles against Judy, and so it's not like she's been able to miss bats, but she has certainly been able to avoid the big swing. Now the 8-hitter in Justine Briones. Briones struck out with the runner at third and one out her last time up, and now an unproductive bunt foul with Caballero on deck, but certainly the option for Coach Souter to go to a pinch hitter as she has for Marissa Caballero already this weekend. Corner infield creeping in, expecting another sac bunt. And a poor attempt pops it foul. So the count 0-2. This has been the difference in this series. Long Beach State's bottom of the order have not produced, while Cal Poly's have. Right now is a prime chance for the Beach to take the lead in the fourth, following a pair of hits to start the inning. A lot of trust in the freshman Judy as she stays out. One-two rise ball is a great take. This is the fourth inning and the fourth time that Long Beach State has had runners in scoring position, as Briones just early on one that certainly would have untied this game. With now a pinch hitter who has emerged out of the dugout in the form of Michaela Ceballos. Briones, Diaz, 4-6, and a good hustle beats out the double play attempt. It's a fielder's choice as Briones replaces Martinez and Bakar moves to third. So we'll see if it will in fact be a pinch hit spot. And it is for Ceballos. One double-L'd last name replaces the other as Caballero will not hit, and instead, Michaela Ceballos, who is 8 for 33.
Number 26, Michaela Ceballos.
She does have a home run and 5 RBIs this season. As Kate Judy stays out to face her. Cal Poly's infield has a decision, and it seems like the middle infield is going to play about halfway. Speed at third in the form of Bakar. And you certainly feel like a run here carries more weight than just it seems. Long Beach State has been pushing. They've stranded a runner at third with less than 2 outs already, as has Cal Poly. This pitch drilled out to left center. It falls in front of Clements. The Beach finally do crack through and lead 2-1 on the RBI pinch hit single by Michaela Ceballos. That's going to bring out Michelle Granger As we get another look at the swing, and you wonder if there was a mislocation by Judy or just a good piece of hitting, as now Caballero will re-enter and run it first. Briones will also be pinch run for by Maddie Ruffin, who we saw out in center field for a little bit of yesterday's doubleheader. So a moment after Cal Poly strands the bases loaded with one out in the third, Long Beach State shows their propensity to pick up key hits. And it's the reserve and the bottom of the lineup that finally does crack through, and now it's the top of the lineup that can continue the moving line. 1 run in, and 2 on with 1 out for Sarah Olson. Olson 1 for 2 today with a hit and a run. She takes a letter high strike. A pair of pinch runners out there with Ruffin and Caballeros, and Olson rips one into the glove of Ramos. Oh, that one was cheeky, but Noela Ramos able to just get enough leather on it. Wow, that's a hard hit out, and Long Beach State has had a few of them. Another look here at Noela Ramos's over-the-shoulder grab. Brings up Naomi Hernandez. A spot for insurance for the beach. Two on, 2 out. Kate Judy continuing the tightrope act that she's done all day. She has not had a clean inning. In fact, she has not had an inning without a runner in scoring position. This next pitch will be her 69th. Line drive, left field line, and Clements dives to prevent herself from running into the fence, it seems. Hernandez today 0 for 1 with a walk. Quick visit by the training staff to make sure that Clements is all right. Great take by the former runner-up for National Player of the Year back in 2018, as Hernandez tries to set the table again for Ncaa, who is 2 for 2 in the 3 spot on deck. Fly ball left field. Clements ranges in and makes the catch. So 2 more left on base for the Beach, but they get a run in. 1 run lead for the visiting Long Beach State team, taking us to the bottom of the 4th.
Malama Aina, to care for the land is an engagement between people and place. When we all malama, there's nothing we can't change.
Learn how you can Malama Hawaii at gohawaii.com/malama.
What if you had an opportunity to change a community? What if you had the chance to be the difference? What if you could make a meaningful impact on someone's life? You can. Join CDCR. CDCR offers competitive pay, benefits, and retirement. Now is your chance. Change lives. Change California.
I wanted to wake up to the sound of the ocean.
Sun and surf. That's what we were looking for.
But the moment we arrived, we found so much more. We found beauty.
We found adventure.
We found a place we'll never, ever forget.
Still just a one-run game, back to where we were in the first inning, as Samantha Fowler, who has dealt with both losses in yesterday's doubleheader, has been wildly effective here today, working around her 3 free passes in the third to strand the bases loaded. She'll take on Ziara Diaz, Mia Perez, and Kai Barrett. Diaz walked and was caught stealing in the second. That second inning was the only 1-2-3 inning for either pitcher thus far. Fowler's been pretty economical despite the 4 walks and the hit by pitch, as Diaz sends one deep to left, ranging back, sliding, and Olsen has it. Oh, what a heady play as well to not go head first into the wall. And once again, Bob Jansen strikes and prevents a deep drive from changing the game. Let's get another look as Sarah Olsen in the leadoff spot hit one hard in the top half of the inning. She got robbed by Ramos and now takes away what was sure to be a leadoff extra base hit for a big out number 1 here in the 4th. First pitch swinging Perez, and she pops out. Cal Poly has had a ridiculous amount of pop-outs today. That is already the 5th pop-out for a Mustang. Now, 2 of them were great catches in foul territory. Actually, that's the 6th pop-out. 3 of them in fair territory. 3 of them in foul territory, and all to the left side, except for Haley Proms to end the first. So Kai Barrett here with 2 outs, trying to prevent a clean inning, and another chance on a pop-up. Foul territory, Caballero, ooh, she doesn't catch it. It just rolls out of her glove. And that's a moment there where you wonder why Olsen didn't take control coming in. You always want to try to catch it coming in as opposed to going out, especially one with a visor. And it looks like Caballero is the only player in the defense that doesn't have a hat on. Trying to battle the sun there. New life for Barrett. She almost gets hit by a front door breaking ball, 1-1. Cal Poly now looking for a pair of comebacks as their baseball team down in Riverside struggling just a bit. Down 6-2 in the 5th as the Mustangs look for the tandem sweep here this weekend. Both teams a chance to compete for the Big West Championship, with baseball sitting in second behind Santa Barbara and the big blue-green rivalry here this upcoming weekend at Baggett Stadium. Of course, unless you're just joining us, I don't need to tell you about the meaningfulness of this game for both teams, as Long Beach State sits 2.5 behind Fullerton. Cal Poly 3.5 games behind the Titans. Mustangs have not been in the midst of a conference race this late in the season in 8 years. Oh, what a pitch. Perimeter painter by Fowler. She doesn't even celebrate. Walking off the circle. We head to the 5th. 2-1 Long Beach State.
Power isn't born, It's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
What if you had an opportunity to change a community? What if you had the chance to be the difference? What if you could make a meaningful impact on someone's life? You can. Join CDCR. CDCR offers competitive pay, benefits, and retirement. Now is your chance. Change lives. Change California.
It's Taco Sunday here in San Luis Obispo, as I got a taste of the beef taco out here and will certainly recommend it. There was a trivia question here between innings on how many slow restaurants offer tacos on the menu. So I'll ask it, and I'll give you the answer in a few minutes so you fans can think about it. A was over 20, B was over 50, and C was over 10. I'm not quite sure how many total establishments there are in San Luis Obispo, but I'll let all you locals and familiar with the area think about it. I will say that Mexican cuisine is certainly up on the top of what San Luis Obispo brings to the table food-wise. Having just moved over here back in August, not sure I've ever had a better breakfast burrito. Ashley Ncaa leads it off, and I'm sure there are some great tacos down in Long Beach as well. You know, coming from the East Coast, tacos are not necessarily the specialty. A little bit more of the seafood style. Barbecue as well. But I won't get into the barbecue topic because I won't be too liked about it. Ncaa smokes one out to straightaway center, but the wind keeps it in the ballpark, and shy of the warning track, Ramos makes the catch. And I like to keep mentioning it because these balls are clobbered, and yet I'm sure on TV it looks like routine fly balls. So one quick out here in the fifth as Kate Judy sits at 73 pitches. 43 of them strikes. Snyder 0 for 2, fly out and grounded into a fielder's choice on that collision in the third. A 1. Snyder line drive right at Clement. 2 quick outs. Following the 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the fourth, Kate Judy looking to back it up. And so it brings up the 5-hitter in Rebecca Durazo. Bakar and Ncaa both with 2 hits today for the Beach. Snyder and Durazo here in the middle of the lineup have not been able to get on base as this right-handed hitting freshman lined out in the first, very sharply to right, popped out to end the third. 2-0 the count. Mustangs have the top of their lineup due up in the 5th. Clements, Ramos, and Amos. A rise ball chased by Durazo. Can of corn out for Clements, and she makes the catch. First 1-2-3 inning for Kate Judy. To the bottom of the 4th we go, a 2-1 lead for the Beach. How many pitches was that inning?
What if you had an opportunity to change a community? What if you had the chance to be the difference? What if you could make a meaningful impact on someone's life? You can. Join CDCR. CDCR offers competitive paid benefits in retirement. Now is your chance. Change lives. Change California.
Back at Bob Jansen as Jess Clements leads it off, and her bat has been huge this season for Cal Poly, leading the conference in hitting. But how about her glove? She made this tremendous catch back in the 2nd inning, robbing what would have been an RBI gapper by Liliana Martinez. The defense has been exemplary for both teams here in this Sunday finale, as Samantha Fowler, who had an 8-pitch 4th inning, back out in the 5th with just 73 pitches on her docket here. Clements, who chokes up a good amount, was called yesterday for making contact out of the batter's box. So that's another thing we'll keep an eye on, as a hit was wiped away and turned into a strike on what was, after replay, the right call, as you can't make contact with the ball with any of your feet out of the batter's box. You might be able to notice Clements able to really drag, a little bit of a wide receiver style on the toe drag in the front of the batter's box there before she made contact. Oh, and 2 the count here to lead off the 5th. We're entering some significant territory in this game as Caballero makes a throw and an even better hold of the bag by Snyder on the stretch. There's a big out number 1 to keep the speedy Clements still hitless today. Another look, and you wonder why Marissa Caballero has not missed a game this season, and her defense is why. Even though she was pinch hit in a huge moment, she re-entered as a pinch runner after the go-ahead RBI single by Ceballos. Now Noella Ramos, who walked in the 3rd. That was the 3rd inning, the inning that is circled for Cal Poly fans. Bases loaded, 1 out. Lily Amos strikes out on 3 pitches. Haley Prom pops out, and the jam escaped as Ramos chases Caballero into foul territory, and there's 2 down. How about 7 pop-outs now for Cal Poly? And a chance again for Amos, who had 2 on and no outs and flew out in the third. One swing of the bat away from tying it. Did she get all of it? No, the wind keeps it in the ballpark. Olsen makes the grab, colliding against the big West sign in left field. And Maddie Amos's game-tying homer is just a few feet short. To the 6th inning, we surge. 2-1 Long Beach State. Are you kidding me with that one? Holy cow, it's impossible.
When you're ready to travel,
We're ready to welcome you.
Whether you're taking a little day trip,
we're getting out for a getaway.
We're ready. We're ready to see you strolling. Rolling. Chilling.
Tasting.
shopping,
Cheersing and chowing down.
we're ready to see your smiling faces again.
We're ready to hear your laughs.
We are slow ready.
To welcome you back.
San Luis Obispo County Regional Airport and Alaska Airlines now have nonstop flights to San Diego and Portland. San Diego offers 70 miles of pristine beaches and world-class attractions that will mesmerize the whole family. Enjoy the Pacific Northwest's natural beauty and relax in the beautiful waterfronts and amazing views that Portland offers. Your San Luis Obispo Airport is the perfect gateway to great adventures for all families. For more information, visit slowairport.com.
Takes quite a lot to get a ball out of this ballpark out to left field, as both of these teams have seen this afternoon. Most recently, a very important example there as Maddie Amos, off the bat, celebrated like she had just tied the game. So often you could see by the reaction of the pitcher as well, as Samantha Fowler grimaced before realizing that her teammate Sarah Olsen had it in her sights. Now 6 outs away are the Beach from salvaging this series, as Jacqueline Bakar does swing on the first pitch off speed by Judy. 5 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, a walk and a strikeout for Kate Judy. She went complete game in the win yesterday, allowing 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Now later in her outing, Long Beach State, I'm sure, would love to see somebody else in that circle. And it hasn't been for lack of ability to hit the ball, as the Beach have 7 hits, but just 7 singles. Very little production with runners in scoring position, as Bakar pops one out to Diaz, as the second baseman secures it. 6 straight retired, all by flyouts, here dating back to the 4th inning. And the 7th spot here in Liliana Martinez, who coming into this game was 0 for her last 5, but a pair of well-struck balls. A flyout that you just saw last inning, the diving catch by Clements back in the 2nd, and a smoked single to set up the stage for the go-ahead run in the 4th. Martinez, who jumped on the first pitch in her last at-bat, takes. Here with 1 out in the 6th. Cal Poly held to just 2 hits. They have walked 4 times, and both of those hits were extra base hits. But the Mustangs have been hitless since the 1st. And will have to come up clutch once again to extend their conference winning streak to 11 games. Martinez hitting .306. Chases the rise, and it's 1-2. Defense playing straight up. Great take on the rise curve. Long Beach State's first series loss of the season, and they are looking to prevent their first road sweep in 12 years. They're 6 outs away and maybe a little insurance from doing so. As well as hoping to stay in the conference race. There's a perfect breaking ball on the inner half. Martinez goes down on strikes, just the second K of the day for Judy.
Now batting the catcher, Justine Briones.
Now Briones 0 for 2. Grounded into a fielder's choice in the fourth, but her hustle certainly led to the run scoring. Had she grounded into a double play, that inning goes very differently. Caballero on deck if the inning continues. Judy, who has set down 7 straight now. Similarly to what we saw in Game 2, she gets stronger as the game goes on. Coach Condon told me she just has to get over a little bit of that early game hump so many freshmen deal with. 0-2. Driven out to left field, Briones smashes one. The wind will keep it in the park, of course, and Clements makes the catch. How many deep flyouts left will we have and still have as we send it to the bottom of the 6th, the 1-run game? They have to feel like they're just crushing these balls. Yeah, that was smoked.
Malama Aina, to care for the land is an engagement between people and place. When we all malama, there's nothing we can't change.
Learn how you can Malama Hawaii at gohawaii.com/malama.
What if you had an opportunity to change a community? What if you had the chance to be the difference? What if you could make a meaningful impact on someone's life? You can. Join CDCR. CDCR offers competitive pay, benefits, and retirement. Now is your chance. Change lives. Change California.
I wanted to wake up to the sound of the ocean.
Sun and surf. That's what we were looking for.
But the moment we arrived, we found so much more. We found beauty.
We found adventure.
We found a place we'll never, ever forget.
Back in San Luis Obispo, out on the central coast, a little bit of a clash between the defending champs and the surging Mustangs. Cal Poly was able to put together their only 2 hits of the game back in the first, as you see the swings by both Maddie Amos down the left field line, backed up with Juju Sargent, who leads off this 6th inning. The only run of the game scored by Cal Poly. Sargent, who presumably will not be trying to hit a fly ball to left field, as we have seen the graveyard of gappers here this afternoon. And Samantha Fowler dueling with Kate Judy, holding that one-run edge here, 6 outs away from sending Long Beach State back home for 6 games between Hawaii and Bakersfield the next 2 weekends. Sargent 1 for 1, that RBI double and then a walk. Fowler continuing to pick on that outer half. Cal Poly have been the comeback Bucks a few times in the last few weeks. They came from behind against Bakersfield to win in extra innings in their series opener. Down 3-0 in Game 2 yesterday, a 5-3 win. And then the finale against Hawaii as well. Sargent out to right. Martinez on her horse. And a great read out there by Liliana Martinez as she scampers down the line to make the grab. Off the bat, it looked like the same swing you just saw the highlight of on Sargent's RBI double in the first. A little bit of defensive shifting. Never hurt anybody. Lily Amos, as the DP, has been stewing in the dugout, hoping to make amends for her gaffe in the third. She struck out on 3 pitches with the bases loaded and 1 out in a tie game. That has certainly been the momentum shift in this one. Cal Poly loaded the bases without the benefit of a hit in that inning, and have been hitless since the first against Samantha Fowler. Fowler's line here this season in conference play, in 61 innings, she has allowed just 42 hits. 4 of those hits came yesterday against Cal Poly in the 1 inning over 2 outings. Clearly being careful with the Roseville senior. There's a strike. A little bit up and out. And we'll see how badly Lily Amos wants to pick a zone here. Maybe one pitch that you want to look for on 3-1. And it wasn't that pitch. Second walk of the day for the DP, who will most likely be run for here. It looks to be Ellie Yamashita. It's funny, with Cal Poly, you'll really have a coin flip between whether you want Jade Contepe or Ellie Yamashita to run. So often a team will have one go-to pinch runner. But Yamashita making her 23rd appearance. Contepe has 27. And that represents the tying run here in the 6th.
Now batting, playing first base, Haley Prom.
So another chance at a little redemption. Prom, who has left 5 on base today, in her 2 at-bats with a couple pop-outs. Hoping to relive her 5th inning swing from Game 2, where she found the right center field gap and tied the game. Very similar scenario as Fowler gets a couple strikes on the outer half. Perfect pitches for the righty. That was her 92nd pitch. Oh, 2, and the strike zone forces Prom to ground into the double play. What a play! The only 6th double play turn this year for Long Beach, and maybe their biggest, sends us to the 7th on a 1-6-3 twin killing to end the 6th.
Power isn't born, It's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers, whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain, and we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
What if you had an opportunity to change a community? What if you had the chance to be the difference? What if you could make a meaningful impact on someone's life? You can. Join CDCR. CDCR offers competitive paid benefits in retirement. Now is your chance. Change lives. Change California.
Talk about resilience. The outing by Samantha Fowler today after being shelled in the first inning and removed in game one without recording an out, then coming in the sixth to allow the game-winning hit and picking up a couple losses. It has been the Fowler show today. She starts the 1-6-3 double play to end the sixth. Now hoping for a little insurance from her offense here as Marissa Caballero leads it off with a slapper to the left side. Amos's throw a little late as once again Mia Perez a little bit slow to get to that ball in what probably should have been her territory. Starts Caballero off with a leadoff single. Great range showed by Amos, though. And let's get another look, and you guys can be the judge. Maybe just a bit out of her reach. And then the throw to first by Amos. No way she was going to catch up to the speedy Caballero from that deep in the hole. And a chance for Sarah Olson as Long Beach State picks up their fourth leadoff single of the day. And yet just 2 runs scored despite 8 hits. Judy over the 90-pitch mark. This is on the screwball to Olson, who is 1 for 3 with a couple deep flyouts to center. Olson's glove might have been the reason why Long Beach State still has the lead. As she took away what could have been a leadoff double by Diaz to start the fourth. Diaz will lead off the bottom of the 7th. Two and 1 the count on a healthy hack on 2-0. With Hernandez waiting on deck here in the 7th. In what has been a fun, competitive series, but no more fun than this one. Back and forth. Great pitchers showdown with ample opportunities for both teams. Fly ball to left. It's going to bring Clements well in. She dives, and it just clicks off of her glove in foul territory. Frustration shown out there in what could have been a very important out number one. If that doesn't tell you how gusty the wind is today, or how those fly balls have gone to die. New chance for Olsen before the 3-2. And it's a walk. And Long Beach State, for the third time today, has 2 on with nobody out. And instead of Coach Condon coming out to make a change, again, it'll be pitching coach Michelle Granger. And you know, with the lefty in Christina Ullman available and back-to-back lefties here, in fact, 3 straight lefties here due up, it is certainly a decision to make, to stick with Judy, and that's the decision they will make as she has thrown 96 pitches.
Now batting the center fielder, Naomi Hernandez.
Always tough when a hitter can face a pitcher 4 times, and that's what we're seeing here in the 7th as Hernandez 0 for 2 with a walk. On the bunt attempt, a smothering wild pitch saving stop by Barrett. What a job. Playing against the platoon of catchers between Durazo and Briones, Kai Barrett has not missed an inning behind home plate in now over a month and a half. (1-0), another bunt attempt, and that's taken for a ball. And it's 2-0. Another ball, and it's 3-0. And with nobody covering second, smartly Caballero can take as big of a secondary lead as she wants. So with that questionable call on the 1-0 pitch, I think it's 3-0. It's 2-1. So apologize. That last one was a strike. 2-1 the call. And I think Coach Souter is also wondering why the count sits at 2-1. So a brief chat between the 16th year head coach Kim Souter and Douglas Trout, our crew chief here behind home plate. Two one bunt will tail foul, just barely missed by the glove of Perez, which would have been a devastating miscue. But she eludes it, and the count evens at 2-2, which will most likely take away the bunt sign from the all-regional or all-region senior in Naomi Hernandez. Hitting .358, certainly a decision to take the bat off her shoulders. But now expecting to swing away. A chopping slap attempt working just as much as a bunt, and it tails foul. Two on, and a 1-run lead for the Beach. hoping for some insurance here in the 7th. And there will pick up the insurance run as Amos goes all or nothing on the half-hearted attempt. And the throw by Ramos, for some reason, comes into the infield. Wow. Hernandez was dead to rights at second base, had Noella Ramos realized. Instead, she'll allow her to move up 60 feet on clearly what was a frustration attempt out there after Maddie Amos's miss on the swinging bunt single. Let's take another look. Now, I don't think we're going to give an RBI to Hernandez there. So I'm not sure how the official scorer will rule that. As the run scored from second, we'll all just sit and wait. So we'll be an RBI with the converging Amos unable to pick it up. So Hernandez gets her 9th ribby in conference play. And the heads-up running moves her to second and puts 2 in scoring position as Long Beach State is 1 swing away from blowing this game out of the water. Makes you wonder why you even attempt to bunt in the beginning when you can just consistently swinging bunt. Hernandez looked so comfortable doing so there, it was a sight to behold. A 3-1 lead for the Beach on 9 hits in a game that has truly been opportunity after opportunity for both teams. Long Beach State left a runner at third with 1 out in the second. They left 2 on base in the third. Finally got 1 across in the fourth to take a 2-1 lead and then went 6 up, 6 down in the 5th and the 6th. But the decision to keep Judy out here a 4th time through the lineup has burned the Cal Poly Mustangs. And on the other side, Cal Poly stranded 2 on in the first, bases loaded with 1 out in the third, and then have only managed 1 base runner in the last 3 innings against Fowler. And what a world of difference a 2-run lead and a 3-run lead has, as Ncaa faces a 2-2. Snagged by Prom. What a play to save a couple runs there. She wisely goes towards the hitter to tag her out instead of turning her back to Olsen at third. And 1 managed out brings up the 4-hitter in Kira Snyder. Snyder, who fouls it off, 0 for 3 today. 0 for 6 between Snyder and Durazo, who wait on deck. And the infield drawn in here with 1 out. 1-1. Seven, 8, 9 due up for the 3rd time as Prom grounded into the double play in the 6th. Now a lace liner to left, most likely deep enough to score Olsen as she scampers home to stretch the lead to 4-1. Productive out there for Snyder. Her 3rd RBI of the series, 14th of the conference season. And could that be enough insurance for Samantha Fowler, who will look for her 7th complete game of the season? Meanwhile, an update from the baseball side of things into the 7th with Riverside leading Cal Poly by a score of 8-3. Rebecca Durazo, 3 hard-hit outs today. 2 for 11 on the series. And a chance for a true nail in the coffin here. Trying to drive in one more in the 7th. Judy's line will certainly not look as good as she pitched today. As she's allowed 9 hits, 4 earned, scattering 2 walks with 2 strikeouts. She'll be in line for the loss, unless Cal Poly puts together another magical inning. 2-0 roller to third, and Perez cleans it up. 2 runs come in on RBIs by Hernandez and Snyder. We head to the bottom of the 7th. 4-1 Long Beach.
What if you had an opportunity to change a community? What if you had the chance to be the difference? What if you could make a meaningful impact on someone's life? You can. Join CDCR. CDCR offers competitive pay, benefits, and retirement. Now is your chance. Change lives. Change California.
Bottom of the 7th inning here on the Central Coast, just about halfway between Los Angeles and San Francisco. A little bit of a drive back home for the Beach. 3 outs away from salvaging this series finale after losing both games of the doubleheader yesterday. And Samantha Fowler, who has 6 complete games this season, went complete game last week in a 5-inning win over Santa Barbara, as well as a couple weeks ago. She had a string of 4 straight, I should say, complete games through UC Davis, CSUN, and San Diego. And Ziara Diaz takes a couple tight pitches with Fowler at 95 pitches. 51 of them have been strikes. She has exceeded 100 pitches 7 times this year, including a Big West stretch of 6 straight in the end of March, beginning of April, with a career high of 154 in the 9-inning win over CSUN back on April 3rd. So gas in the tank is not a concern for this righty. Diaz, who had 3 hits in the series opener, 0 for 1 today, robbed of an incredible catch by Olsen her last time up. Out sliding against the fence in left center, with Mia Perez's spot on deck, but Sydney Frankenberger with a helmet and a bat. Foul ball runs the count full now. Just 2 hits allowed by Fowler, both of them in the first. She's walked 5 and hit 1. As Diaz strikes one into deep right center. Martinez is not going to catch up to it. There's the first hit since the first and the third extra base hit of the game for Cal Poly. And just goes to show how important insurance runs are. For the first time, a hitter decides to try to find the right field gap instead of cutting against the wind coming in from the left. And Sydney Frankenberger will make her second appearance of the series. She picked up a big RBI single in the sixth of game one yesterday to add insurance runs. And looks to surprise everybody with a bunt here. Kai Barrett's spot, and Kai Barrett is on deck. The top of the lineup in the hole. Down by 3. The Mustangs 3 outs away. As Fowler picks a piece and misses high and outside. Mustangs have shown that things will not come easy to their opponents this season. And looking to put an end to this 10-game conference winning streak. It won't be easy either, as tight pitch low misses to the sophomore outfielder, who has a .304 batting average this season. But just .217 in conference play, as Frankenberger has not had many options in the lineup here since the surge of Sargent. She started 7 Big West games early in the season out in right field. One thing that Coach Condon has gleamed about in her squad is their love and resilience to their roles, especially highlighting this lefty, as Frankenberger has accepted that she's going to come off the bench in big moments like this. Pokes the screwball to stay alive. Oh, just missing there. Count runs full. Three-two pitch with a runner at second, tying run on deck. Frankenberger pops it up. Long run for Caballero. Ncaa, maybe thought the wall was coming a bit sooner. She runs out of real estate. A walk certainly as pivotal as a hit here. Down by 3. And the bullpen for Long Beach State looks to be busy as well. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout. Number 3 for Fowler on the day. Well, her first strikeout came with the bases loaded and 1 out in a tie game in the third. She froze Kai Barrett to end the fourth in a 1-2-3 inning. Kai Barrett, 1 for 9 on the series. Loves to swing at the first pitch and fouls it off. Rise ball popped out to left, pretty deep, sending Olsen shy of the warning track, but the theme of the day is F7s. Oh, wow. Diaz decides to move up 60 feet in a risky, low-reward decision and does slide in safely. So now the top of the lineup with 2 outs, down by 3 in the 7th.
For the Mustangs, left fielder Jessica Clements.
First pitch swinging, a chance for Caballero to end it, and Long Beach State salvages the series, picks up the Sunday win behind the 7th complete game of the year for Samantha Fowler as they win 4-1 and move their record to 13-5 while Cal Poly falls to 11-7. Well, we thank you so much for joining us all weekend long. Our next Cal Poly softball broadcast here on ESPN Plus will be next week as the Mustangs are in Fullerton for a weekend set. Long Beach State also on ESPN Plus next weekend against Hawaii. I'll be back in a few weeks as Davis travels to SLO to take on the Mustangs. For our entire crew here from San Luis Obispo, I'm Daniel Gilman, thanking you so much for all of the entertainment all weekend long. And a great matchup between these two talented teams. Reminder that all broadcasts here on the ESPN app are streamed and archived on the ESPN networks. This has been a presentation of ESPN.